Welcome, everybody, to a bonus episode of the One Oefp podcast. I'm your host, Seth Mossberg. I was talking with Josh the other day about all the funny moments we've had on this podcast over the last year, over a year now, and realizing that we have a lot. And as I started compiling them, I was like, man, we have over an hour. And I was like, let's just put it into an episode. So this is a special episode for the day. Hope it brings some joy to your week. We're not all serious here. Talking about movies and theology can be fun. So sit back and enjoy this like hour-long episode of all of the funny moments from the last 50 episodes. I'm planning on doing probably one of these episodes every 50 episodes, and I know this is coming out late, but it's because it takes a while to find all of the funny moments in these episodes. But enjoy this episode, and stay tuned for Friday's episode, which is going to be a banger.
Hello there.
Don't have a good day. Have a great day.
Talk to me, Goose.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Why so serious?
Squirrel! I could do this all day.
Are you watching closely?
Guys, we're a film podcast. We're a Christian.
We're going to take that as the intro. Intro, welcome to part 2.
Intro!
Yeah! Welcome, everybody, to the One Oefp podcast. I'm your host, Seth Mossberg. We are pumping it up today. I don't know why we're so hyped, but we are.
This is the type of stuff like I listen to like when it's like really late at night and it's dark and I had a rough day, or like before I'm going to do something big. I'm like, I kind of need this. I really like this. And I think it's very biblical, and it's like way of like just life's going to be tough and you're going to mess up because you're human. But you know, from now on, I'm going to change and try and do better. And yeah, I just really love it. So head it away, Seth.
You heard it here first. The Greatest Showman is Will's depression music.
If I had depression, but
Must be nice. Was that
okay,
too
I will
much?
say
Was that too much? That was for a bit, but I thought it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was funny.
It's just really funny because like I'm just
Oh
like,
my
wow, people are really
goodness.
depressed nowadays, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess it's
people.
something.
People do be. Never mind. I'm gonna stop. Let's listen.
Stop while you're ahead.
Canceled that.
Did you guys hear that Jessica Biel will not name her son Batmo?
Oh, that's too bad.
Why?
Batmobile.
I joke. I missed it. Where'd it go?
R/whoosh. Sorry, I had to make that one.
Honestly, I think most of the memes I do know are just parodies of Josh, because when I was younger, I thought Josh was the funniest guy ever. And so I was just like parrot what he's.
And now that I'm older, that's changed.
Okay. For instance, the first time I learned about a Vine was because of Josh, because that was he bumped me one time. He said, "Little did he know, he ran into Juan Cena." And I had no idea what he was talking about. No reference, but I thought it was funny, so I would go around and say that. Or okay, just one more thing.
I was the
And
funniest
you should probably
person
edit this
in
out
Will's
because
life
it's kind of
until Will decided to look up stuff on the internet.
yeah. Like it took me like years later, and then I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about. Like that's been my life for like the past.
I'm the
seriously.
greatest at copy and paste. Ask
I know,
any professor.
I know.
here.
It was quite something. Actually, it was quite something. And then
am I cutting,
just
Will?
another example.
Yeah.
I used to go around saying like, the sky is up, the sun is blue, the birds are twerking. Wait a minute, because I didn't know what it meant. So I was just around saying that because of Josh, because he said it one time. I thought it was funny.
I say that one time. We were in recess, and William thought it was the funniest thing ever. He started repeating it a lot, and we go back into class like the next day. I'm like, "Hey, William," and he's like, "Hey, Josh, the sky is up. The sky is up, and it's blue. And hang on, wait, what is it? The birds are twerking. Wait, hang on." It's just so funny, and the teacher was there. Is like, "What the heck are you talking about?" Will?"
Yeah, Josh was a bad influence on me for many years.
Yeah.
Yes, when I
Still
see, I was gonna say when I think of bad influence, I think of Josh Flintz.
Animation is an art, and if you don't like someone's art, that's okay. It's just like going to a painting and saying like, I'm not a huge fan of that kind of art. Even if it's modern art, it's art. And granted, it's not the greatest art, but art is art, and we should still be able to appreciate it, even if it's not your type.
I agree with what you say, Josh. The styles are not for everyone. and that's why we need variety. I would love to see an even different style than just the sketchy 2.5D type of style. Like, I know people who don't like Into the Spider-Verse style.
It's okay for them to be wrong. Honestly, you can sit in being wrong.
Yeah,
No,
people do
I
it all the
don't.
time.
You just said it was okay for them to not like it.
No, that's the only animation style that is not okay to not like.
Okay, the last of the kind of unknown movies. This one I'm excited for. Jesus Revolution. This one I found out because one of the people starring in it is Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus on The Chosen. And in this movie, he plays a hippie, where the whole point of the movie is based on a true story. Back when it was the time of hippies, and the church was having kind of a crisis where they were kind of deciding whether they should welcome or condemn the hippie culture, where it was very, live free and sex all the time, drugs and all that stuff. And I was really kind of in love with the trailer when I saw it, because it looks very authentic, and I don't know the story, but I feel like it's true to the story. And this one pastor who starts accepting the hippies into the church, and they're changed, and it kind of spurred on this new revival in Christian music as well, where the hippie music and the Christian hymns kind of collided and started, I believe, the CCM movement.
It does seem like an interesting movie. I've seen the trailer for it, but I am pretty hesitant. Firstly, because I don't really have a high view of hippies in the first place. That's just kind of my bias, I guess. But
I think this movie's for you then, Will.
yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know if I'll go watch it, but I might.
She realizes she's had everything she's ever wanted in the family that she's grown to love, even if they're bears.
You could say she has the bare necessities.
No.
I
hate you.
I know you do. I hate me too.
The reason that the movie is good is because of all the other stuff. We could easily argue about a ton of other movies that have really good meat as a choice, but they choose to season it with the wrong stuff, and it doesn't work.
Agreed.
And that is what makes a decent movie.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't season it right.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie is perfectly cooked, well seasoned. I've got food sitting in front of me, and I'm just getting hungry.
I've used this analogy before, and I think it fits perfectly with this MCU problem as well. That a movie, yes, it's got a core meat. Imagine it as a plate full of food. It's got meat, and that meat is good on its own, but it's the spice and everything, the seasoning that you put on top of it. Marvel has lost its spice. It's just trying to feed you. It's not taking the time to spice the food. It's just trying to keep you fed so that you get fat and you no longer enjoy food. And then you're depressed because you're overweight. Sorry. I went off there.
Absolute bars.
I also think we could stand to learn from Perito, because his thought process is very simple. It's either this way or this way, and he just has a constant positive mental attitude. And sometimes that's the best way to approach a situation. If something sucks, just be positive. It's
easier said than done than that. But I understand where you're coming from.
I will eat my own words. It is much easier said than done. I am not good at it, but still, like, there's a lesson in there too. Like, don't worry. Be happy.
Don't worry, be happy now.
What would happen if I had that kind of power? Not gonna lie. If I was way in the future and someone created some time machine that would only send you going backwards in time, not gonna lie, I would eat so much food and then just eat it again. And then here's the thing. I wouldn't gain anything from it because I just uneat it and then eat it, but not in an uneat it kind of a way where I just throw it up. Or here's a question.
I don't think that's how that works.
Would you be able to play a video game for the first time again?
No, because you still have your memories. Remember, that's the whole point of a temporal pincer movement, is you go back knowing something you didn't know before.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, think about it this way.
That to be created.
I mean, Josh, think about it this way. You wouldn't necessarily even be able to eat something again, so to speak, because it's not like you're going back in time in a different body. It's your same body is being transported in time.
But if I put the burrito in there, and then it's an inverted burrito, right? And then
It would just come out.
I eat the inverted burrito.
They never.
and then I go-
They never
From your
meant.
perspective,
They never.
from your perspective, it would just come out.
If they commented on inverted air and how you can't breathe inverted air, but can you eat inverted food?
But okay, so I do have a question to further this conversation. So we're three young men I think our average age is probably like 21.
I forget that you guys are younger than me.
To be honest, our brains haven't fully developed yet. That doesn't happen until like 25 or something. Getting close, but
getting close to less stupid.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm still stupid, and I got plenty of time before I become unstupid. That's what I'm in college for, or something.
In the end, it ended up being fantastic, minus one character.
Care to expound on that?
Comic relief. If comic relief was slamming your head into a brick wall and then watching somebody try to talk that garbled up, concussed way that the words got through to you, that's about the comic relief that we're talking about.
Why do you hate Jar Jar Binks so much?
I don't hate Jar Jar Binks exactly.
This is a safe space. You can say what you want.
Okay then. All my emotional baggage I've brought along for 13 years. It's about to get unpacked. No.
She's just a random lady, and she takes her mentor's last name for no reason.
I can totally imagine, like, if it was real and stuff, and like Luke and Leia had that conscious thought or whatever, I can totally imagine Luke looking at Rey and like giving her a nod of approval, like, you're actually a Jedi. Good job. And she was like, Skywalker? I'm Skywalker. No, that's not what I meant. That's the opposite.
That's not what that nod meant.
No, there would have been a hard no.
Dad?
yeah. It's like that. Those memes from like Guardians of the Galaxy where he's like, repeat back exactly what you heard. I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. No, that's the exact opposite.
No. But then the movies that don't follow a Christian story but have a hint of the message, a hint of the gospel. Did I freeze?
Oh, he's gone.
Well, it looks like we're hosting the One-Eyed Film Podcast by yourself. I'm Deacon. This is Zach. He's taking over for Seth for the time being.
Yeah.
Seth may return. He might have been caught up in the rapture. If he was, I have a few concerns for myself about leading a Christian podcast, but well.
Well, seems like a good time to... Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
You know the problem of going to bed too late because you were up just playing video games? Not a problem. You go to bed and you're playing video games in your dream.
You would have to create the video game from your mind, from your memory, rather than it already being written out in a program or on a disc.
My subconscious is already pre-programmed with Tetris.
You would make the greatest video game of all time, having played so many. You wouldn't even realize it.
GTA 6 is out. Elder Scrolls 7, 8, 9 even.
Wait, hold on. Like, we could think about it this. Like, if Joshua is like perfect architectural brain, we could just hook ourselves up, go into his dream, and like play a first-person shooter in his dream together. Like, hey yo, we up for tonight?
You're talking about
sweet.
a local area network, right?
Hey yo,
a LAN party, right?
Are we heading into Josh's head tonight? Yeah, man. I got this new level I thought about today. You should check it out. So, like I said, like there's also like different flavors of anime. So, like Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, I don't know how to say that. Like, yeah, like there's not like there's different styles of anime. How about that?
I like flavors.
Okay. Anyways, continue. Where was I now?
Flavors of anime.
Okay. Yeah. So
there you were.
That's a shirt. Flavors of anime. Madam Web. I didn't realize this was coming out so soon, but it's on the top charts. I think it's a spring movie. Okay, here, I'm going to insert this fun fact for 2024 movies. The only Marvel movies are Sony Marvel. That was something I realized, is it's Sony Marvel that is going to take the stage in 2024.
I'm okay with that. I think I'm really okay with that.
Okay, but do you know the Sony Marvel movies that are coming out?
Well, Madame Web is one of them.
Oh, really? How do you know that one?
Just heard about it from a friend.
Yeah. And then we had a my mom sent me a video of 4 guys, I believe they're pastors or professors, talking about the same thing, but it was way after we had talked about it. So I choose to believe in my own subjective perspective that they saw our podcast and decided, hey, let's talk about that same thing because they had a good idea. That's what I choose to believe, and there's nothing else.
And they probably stole some of my points too. I'm just guessing that they were like this bright young theologian here. He's got some good things to say.
I thought you were a stupid young man.
No, I'm wise beyond my years. It depends on how much praise you're giving me in the moment.
That makes sense. The two are. It's like a graph.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Guys,
I'll come up with your next banger episode, Seth.
And that's also where live action remakes are a problem, because you can't just copy the story into live action. It was made for an animated format for the magic of animation. And that's something I think almost everyone has seen now, because mic drop from Josh.
Say louder for the people in the back.
Bars.
That's the word.
Bars.
Let's go. Bars.
Certain stories are meant for animated movies. One cannot simply translate a story from animation to live action because it's meant for animation. It thrives in that environment. You have the lore of Blue Milk, because that was important to include.
That was weird. That was weird. That felt wrong on so many levels and extremely uncomfortable.
It's such a meme face that he makes, but it's so uncomfortable when you like he. Oh, that face he makes, and he goes. I can't imagine what Johnson told Mark Hamill to do in that scene. Like, Mark Hamill knows, like, oh, it's Blue Milk. It's what Luke was drinking on Tatooine in his first movie. And so now it's the most important thing. And so Luke is going to look Rey directly in the eyes and go, that was good. I don't get it. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you 4 minutes and 45 seconds of Josh totally not being gay.
I am also not a fan of Aaron Taylor Johnson because I don't picture Kraven the Hunter as a pretty guy. Okay, that makes me sound kind of gay because I'm saying Aaron Taylor Johnson is pretty, but what I think of
I know what
like
you mean.
Kraven the Hunter, I don't think of Kraven the Hunter as like some attractive actor.
Full confession here. I watched this in the middle of July. I just needed some elf in me. No, let me rephrase that. I needed...
That's going to be taken out of context in a few years.
Put that on a shirt. No.
And Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. That's different.
Paul Mescal is the main character, I think. So.
Yeah, but I just see Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal in here, and Josh goes, Pedro Pascal? Ooh, yeah.
Be down. Okay.
Yeah, just because an actor is involved in a production doesn't mean anything. Sorry to break it to you.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, unless it's Ryan Reynolds.
Have you seen Green Lantern? Have you seen Green Lantern?
Have you not? It's very much so Ryan Reynolds.
It's very Ryan Reynolds. It's not a good movie.
This is true. Now, if we're gonna move on to the next one, speaking of Ryans that we just can't get enough of, we got Ryan Reynolds in It, or Imaginary Friend. Dude, I've been itching to watch another Ryan Reynolds movie for a while, and I'm really excited for this one. I'm really excited for this one.
Only reboot that I would accept is Ryan Reynolds in the position of Buddy. That's the only acceptable reason. And mainly just for the one scene where Alf pulls his pants down, then and never mind.
Hey now.
Okay.
Chill. People listen to this.
Yeah.
We have the beach scene with I Ain't Worried by One Republic. Great song.
Great scene. Just kidding. I bet all of the ladies who are listening to this podcast are like, when are they going to talk about the beach scene?
What about the guys?
Ooh, Miles Teller.
What about the guys? No.
Oh, don't even get me started on the guys. I purposefully left them out, hoping that they would reconsider their thoughts.
Speaking of movies that need attractive lead roles to carry the film, we got Timothy Chalamet, Florence Pugh, Zendaya, and then Christopher Walken. All four of
And
them
Austin Butler.
in Dune 2, Part 2.
Austin Butler?
Can't forget about Austin Butler. I was
Elvis
mainly
himself.
just thinking about Christopher Walken. He's too
attractive.
old. Yeah, we'll go with that.
There was those short sex scenes where weren't too much, but they were
If
definitely
you're
like
looking at the ground, they're not too much.
The bowl of popcorn became very interesting in those moments.
Or William became very interesting. Yeah, I don't usually stare intently at him, but that night I did.
Well, thank you for noticing. Again, not a bad film.
Bring something to cover your eyes. I don't think that there's anybody who can watch that kind of scene and not I've got to bring light to it because it is a lot. It is very graphic in those areas, so be prepared to like mentally block your view or just full on block your view and look at your friend, no matter how weird they look. No offense. Don't punch me on the way home.
Is it animated?
I thought this one was animated now that I hear it.
Let me read it like Optimus Prime. An origin story set on Cybertron, home of both the Autobots and the Decepticons. The film is said to focus on the relationship between Optimus Prime and Megatron. What the heck?
What?
Are they gay?
Because serious, like, no. It's because those have like a serious like history. I would call upon my friends.
I know
nerd,
relationship
but
means
he's-
other things.
Yeah. No, that's actually interesting. So it's probably gonna focus on the war of Cybertron then, like basically everything that happens before the Transformers get to Earth. Seems like what it's gonna be focusing on.
Megatron, I like you. Megatron, do you want to go out with me sometime?
Oh no!
Uwu.
Alright, shut it down. Oh man. Let's talk about this cast really quick. This has been 4 minutes and 45 seconds of Josh totally not being gay. And we now return to your regularly scheduled programming. If somebody has only seen the poster for Guardians of the Galaxy, and you're trying to explain which character you're talking about, you say the human, the green one, the bald gray one, the tree, or the raccoon. Like, they're very different. With Eternals, they're all the same type of person. That's fair. Unless you use physical characteristics, they're still all human. So it's not impossible to do with the Eternals, but the Guardians are very physically different, and you can tell who's who very quickly and explain, this is what this person is, blah, blah, blah.
Colleges would kill for the kind of diversity that Guardians of the Galaxy has.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot take.
I believe the title of the episode is The Only Good Christian R Movie, and the morality behind that. But yeah.
Some morality behind clickbait.
You got me.
You know where liars go. Revelation 21:22. They go straight downstairs to the warm place.
Oh boy.
Sulfur.
Well, we're all destined for there, but thank God for his grace and for his forgiveness.
Cue the credits. And that's how you make a Christian film right there.
There you go.
That's how you end a Christian film.
Thank God for his grace and forgiveness. Title card. We interrupt your regularly scheduled...
Keep that in.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program.
I'm straight. That's not a personality trait, okay? I like girls. I think they're pretty most of the time, and I think that that's fine.
I don't think I've ever seen a scene culminate a whole show so well.
Oh, you don't think it was the just wait. It's gonna be good. The WandaVision scene where his name is revealed
No, not the Ralph Boner scene.
Ralph Boner. You don't think it's the Ralph
No!
Boner scene from WandaVision?
No!
That's not the best, the best end to a series.
I don't know if I've talked to Ruth about this, but I hated the Ralph Boner twist so much. One of the worst twists in all of Marvel.
We'll save it. We'll save it.
I was about to get into it. But
no, we'll
never
save
mind.
it. We also have video podcasts on YouTube. You're not missing anything. It's just the same thing, but you get to see our faces.
Don't know why you'd want that, honestly.
Yeah, maybe you're better off.
Not missing anything.
Maybe you're better off listening on audio only.
All right, the conclusion for the episode is watch The Passion of the Christ, watch VeggieTales, watch God's Not Dead. He might be dead. The movie's kind of ambiguous on whether or not he is or not.
That's not what we said.
Jury's still out on that one. 50%. Wait, hang on.
Wait, do you remember the end of God's Not Dead where everyone just stands up and says, God's not dead, one at a time? That was, oh man.
My favorite part in God's Not Dead is when God's Not Dead says, it's God's Not Dead time. And then God's Not Dead, so we're all
Classic. Who could forget that? In the Snow White interviews, movie hasn't come out, obviously. The leaked set photos of Snow Off-White and the 7 inclusivity hires. Ooh. They're not dwarves.
They're not dwarves?
No. Peter Dinklage is the only dwarf.
He's the only dwarf? The others, 7 dwarves?
The others are, there's probably 4 guys, 3 girls, something like that. And they're...
there's girls now?
Yes, they're like circus performers. Good thoughts. Thank you for sticking us.
Please don't stick us.
Thank you for sticking with us. It's such a well sound design. It brings joy to my ears every time I hear it.
Well, yeah.
I love it.
I think part of why we love it so much is there's so much going on before that. There's music in the background, there's indistinct chatter, all of that. And he drops it and it goes dead silent. And you think, what is this? And this is going to be something that is going to wreak absolute devastation because the entire movie just went silent. And then that sound plays and you're like, oh yeah, we're screwed. Yeah, we're dead. there's no escaping this.
Well, there is if you're not in the 2-dimensional plane that it explodes.
It's the one shortfalling of that
but
weapon.
anything within that circle, flat circle, is devastated.
You don't think it was, just make it a little more round, just, you had to make it flat. You had to make it so there's one way to get out of it.
Just go up.
yeah, basically, I don't know why Obi-Wan was running from it.
Like
just
this, you just
up.
I'm nervous for it because The Last of Us is near and dear to my heart. I shed my first tears that I ever did for any film or movie or video game on that game.
Just in general, that was the first time he cried.
Yeah, the first time.
Outside of the womb, nothing. Watch The Last of Us.
Hey, see? I didn't know what tears were. They were new to me.
Don't watch God's Not Dead. Yep. Watch the other ones that we listed. Maybe not Christmas Grace.
No, not that one either.
Go check out The Shift.
Don't watch anything from Pureflix. They might be of the devil. I'm not sure.
Man, we're making a lot of objective claims here, but to be honest, just be discerning with everything you watch. That's
I'm just saying, Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, and he got a little too carried away with Pureflix.
Okay, Deacon with the hot takes. That's why Deacon has not been on the podcast in a while.
When you're when you're designing a girl's toy, and so you make it pink and you put flowers, and there's the stereotypical little boy who's like, oh, what else do girls like? Unicorns. It's like that. But the devil's like, okay, so what are Christians gonna buy? Pureflix. Over the top.
I'm not saying there's no basis for your conspiracy. Maybe we'll have a conspiracy episode.
I'm here to make enemies.
Your goal in life is to figure out how to make most people against you.
I'm a stupid young man. My brain isn't fully developed yet, so I might as well make enemies while I still have the chance.
You don't know how to make friends, so
I'm
just
not
make
wise
enemies.
Yet. Yeah, something like that.
I gotta stop. I'm sorry, that one went a little too long.
Oh, I feel like you can indulge yourself, so.
That's your number one?
So good.
You could have picked, Can You Hear the Music by Ludwig Göransson. But instead you picked this one.
I don't know, man. Jordan was jamming with me. We were feeling it
so much. Oh my goodness.
To give a bit of credit to Zach, that song does definitely give me like party jam vibes. Like if you just told me that was like, you could tell me that wasn't from a film and I would believe you, because it's just kind of like quirky. Like it honestly, some parts of it honestly,
the soundtrack does get a little bit quirky at times.
It's very interesting, and yes, quirky I think best describes it for me. So.
It's very untraditional for sure.
Yeah.
I will admit that. That doesn't mean bad, Zach.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's connected to me enjoying Tenet so much as one of my favorite films. I don't know what the experience would be like separated with that soundtrack without the experience of Tenet, and vice versa, Tenet without that soundtrack. And maybe, I don't know if, what do you think of Tenet, Zach? Like, do you like it?
Wait, Tenet is like one of your favorite films?
Oh my gosh. We're not doing this.
Have you not listened to like our like the last
You're not a
couple Nolan
true fan.
episodes?
It's okay. It's far from Nolan's best.
I don't think it's his best. I think it's my favorite.
It's your
Also the Trucks in Place. If I had to shout out another track from that, the Trucks in Place one, when they're smushing the one van.
Oh, yeah.
That one has another one of those. Duke, 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 duke.
Yeah.
beats.
Oh, it's so
okay.
Zach,
That's-
what, Zach?
That was probably like one of the most annoying parts of the movie for me. Just
You can leave. You can leave. The door is over there.
Oh my goodness, this is so funny. Oh,
Zach and I will beef it out later. There's so much good stuff out there. So let's appreciate other people's soundtracks and like I said before, like that wasn't a dig at Zach. I promise.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
I swear.
Come on, guys, let's appreciate our other people's soundtrack.
All right, good stuff. Thank you guys. Are you going to talk? I feel like every time I try and wrap up, you have a quick oneer.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's what I say.
Okay, sounds good.
A true
Thank you
Christian
guys.
That's
Straight
in
from
the
the
book of
Bible.
Proverbs. Chapter 32 of Proverbs.
Oh man. All right, both of you, shut up.
Okay. Why is Seth muted?
Why did Seth mute?
You can't do that to me. I thought I had admin privileges.
Who muted Seth?
Don't mute me. You can't. Deacon, you're touching your mouse. Of course you are.
Well, yeah, because Zach muted me.
No, I muted you because you kept interrupting my outro.
Well, I don't want you to outro. I just want to keep doing this. The infinite outro. I'm trying it out here.
I think this is the longest intro we've had. Or outro.
Gonna hold you guys in purgatory here. Oh, purgatory's biblical. Pureflix won't tell you about purgatory.
You are going to try
Angel
and make
Studios,
as many
though.
enemies.
Angel Studios will tell you about purgatory. In their next Angel anime,
Oh,
purgatory's
no.
the main setting for it. I don't even remember what the show's called, but it looked interesting.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they actually have that anime coming out.
Listen, I'm just doing what Paul or what John did in the first 7 chapters of Revelation. I'm just calling out all the churches.
I don't think that's
Wow.
So,
just gonna say
Seth,
that.
have you figured out how to mute me yet, or do I
No.
like, keep talking?
No, I can't just. I want you to kindly be quiet.
I'll keep talking. Okay.
I'm trying to find.
So, what do we think the Antichrist is? Because Elon Musk, interesting call, but he gave us back our freedom of speech on Twitter. So
They're just gonna keep going.
or it's X. Well, I feel like Walt Disney could be the Antichrist. I feel like there's a case that could be made for that.
I'm not
But
even gonna
I don't know
try
if Walt
anymore.
Disney actually should be at fault because
I've
he's
lost all
dead.
control.
But Disney as a whole, as a corporate company, could be. I think the case could be made that it is the Antichrist.
There's no
But
option to.
I don't know if the
not have you
Antichrist
guys
is like a conglomerate. So
Maybe Bob Iger is the anti.
no, it's Kathleen Kennedy. If it's anyone, it's Kathleen Kennedy. She's an interesting woman. She's the reason that women didn't have rights until the mid 19th century.
Bro. I'm about to just kick you from the call so I can do the outro.
My business professor was talking about how history is like a pendulum and we swing from one extreme to the other throughout all of history. And I think with feminism we overcorrected significantly. We gave them too many rights.
I'm about to kick you from the entire call. I love you.
See, I'm just
Stop.
I'm just putting off the fact that I have to go do homework after this, and like
we
I
can
don't really
stall
want to
for
go
time.
do homework.
We can stall for time after we're done recording.
I mean, we
It's gonna be
could.
so
but then
fun for Seth to edit.
Is he gonna?
I don't know. At this point, we're just gonna talk for the next 24 hours.
Seth, if I hold this hostage for another 41 minutes, you got your first 2-hour 2-hour episode.
When I watched Elf in July, I was crying. You know, I'm starting to think that this is a huge reflection of my character and just what I choose to enjoy.
Like I said, foundational in Joshua's brain development.
You know, scripture is the foundation, but there's a second layer of foundation. That's Elf in Emperor's New Groove.
I think these are just childhood movies that you watched, and they made you so happy that there's no choice but a chemical reaction in your brain. Like, it's not even just thoughts of I like this. It's an addiction. It's not quite. It's like a yearly addiction.
Big Elf say word, big happy. That's basically it.
The epitome of luck and coincidence makes an appearance in this movie in the form of the knife.
So
that makes me mad.
So you're telling me a knife that was made during the ancient Sith era over like 3,000 years ago just so happens to match the exact outline of the crashed and ruined Death Star over a planet
not even in the system.
Not only the ruined outline, but the silhouette of that outline from the very spot that they were standing.
Oh
they
my!
could have been anywhere else on that planet, and they had to be standing there. And she's like, "It's right there, guys."
It felt like a Scooby-Doo or Dora the Explorer episode where it's like, where's the map, you guys? Where it can't possibly be. Oh my gosh, it is. I bet you that's where we have to go. Can you say Death Star?
Can you see where the map is? Muy bien.
Oh my gosh.
I think my favorite, as cliche as it is it's over Anakin. I have the high ground. Because it's so funny that Obi-Wan thinks that that's what's going to draw this fight to a close, is that he's 15 feet higher than Anakin.
He's 15 feet higher than a human being who can jump like 40 feet up.
Yeah.
This is the difference, I'm telling you.
It's like the little kid. I'm taller than you, just because they're standing on a chair.
Yep. That's where they got it from. Lucas was having an argument with somebody, and he's like, "Oh yeah, throw that in." Yeah.
I'm taller than you.
So the thing about Ludwig Göransson, is that his name?
I think he's Swedish, so it's kind of Göransson, but
Göransson? Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Ludwig Göransson.
Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah. Nice, Will.
What? Don't you know? Hey, watch out. I'm from Minnesota, man. I know how to do that accent.
I honestly am surprised there's not an option to not let you mute and unmute.
Riverside believes in my freedom of speech. I will not be silenced. I watched God's Not Dead, We the People. Did you know that's what God's Not Dead 4 is called? Is God's Not Dead, We the People?
It was talking about how terrible it is to be a Christian in America.
The persecution of Christians in America.
Woe is us.
I feel so persecuted right now in my Christian college, studying the Bible freely. My ability to post my opinions on the Bible publicly on the internet and not be arrested.
I don't know, after your hot takes, you never know.
I got cut in line at Walmart once. I think that's persecution.
Chick-fil-A was closed on a Sunday one time. And I took that as a direct assault on my religious liberties. You know, the Sabbath is supposed to be a day of rest, so I went to Chick-fil-A so I didn't have to make food myself, but they were closed. And so I had to go home and make food myself, which was a violation of my religious liberty to not work on the Sabbath. So Chick-fil-A, if you're listening to this, open on Sunday. Chick-fil-A corporate.
The critical thinking starts to come into play once you have second opinions come in, because it's so easy to fall onto a
bandwagon. Once
penguin?
A penguin.
It's so easy to fall onto a penguin.
Yeah, don't even get me started.
Happens to me every day.
It's so easy to fall onto a
A penguin.
A penguin?
A penguin.
Penguin. Penguin.
It's so easy to fall onto a bandwagon when you're the only one thinking.
There have been other situations where two guys who are best friends can't just be best friends, they have to be gay, which is a little offensive because all of the guy friends that I have that I'm buddy with, now I can't be as buddy with in public because it's seen as gay, and I don't want to be seen like that.
I'm only friends with guys, and the funny thing is it's not because I'm gay, but it's because I'm straight and I'm scared of girls. That's why.
Dude, I can relate.
That happened, but
I don't know, man. And also being that friend to come alongside the hurting one and, you know, help them feel better, do something for them to take their mind off of something, whatever. Be that friend who can help others through some tough stuff.
Even if it's just saying, I am Groot. It can work. The next time you're sad, Seth, I'm just going to say, I am Groot, and I really hope that you'll understand what I'm saying, because it's just going to be really awkward if you don't.
Deal. This anime is one example of you cannot just translate a story to live action. They tried it with Cowboy Bebop. It was not well received. They're doing it now with One Piece. There is some acceptance to it.
The only acceptable One Piece is a swimsuit. My hot take.
Fair enough. The only thing I can think of when I hear Gladiator is... Gladiator! Wait, imagine the intro to Gladiator 2 is just Zayd Wolf. Gladiator! And you got the main character walking out like a superhero. Man, that would be funny.
I heard Gladiator, that song, for the first time from a Dude Perfect movie, Dude Perfect video. So I would just expect whoever the gladiator is in the movie to just start chucking basketballs. Can you imagine?
That'd be funny. Oh man.
Just to your point about Christopher Nolan movies and what you've been talking about, I think it's a movie and just art in general maybe this isn't a total amount of like how worthy it is.
I'm really hot in here.
Yeah. But to go back to your point, about Christopher Nolan and
Josh just took off his shirt.
Close your eyes, guys.
Wait for the final act.
We'll blur his nipples for you guys. Don't worry.
I mean, I've always wanted to see your feet.
You're gonna need a lot more than that. The dogs are coming out. Sorry.
Okay.
If you heard some sort of scratch, that was my socks just rubbing up against your ear.
Moist. But to go back to your point about Christopher Nolan films,
we're going to be talking today about culture versus entertainment with the premise of, does culture influence entertainment or does entertainment influence the culture? I have a feeling Will has a lot of intellectual thoughts and Josh will bring some sort of average thoughts. I don't know how else to say that.
Slightly above average, at least.
Okay, so I'm the below average person.
Above average.
We just need to get something that Josh cares about, like finances or physical therapy or something like that.
PT and
You
business.
think I care about finances? My finances are pizza rolls and tuition. That's finance.
Gas money.
Classic college kid.
I got a scooter. I scoot around. I don't
You got
need
a
gas.
scooter?
I got a scooter, yeah. Although it has a flat
Did
tire
you see your
right now.
money? Anyways, share this with your friends if you can. We love more people to hear about it and for our community to grow. Thank you guys for joining us in this conversation. Know that you are loved. God bless.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, I will write your name as a tattoo and hunt you down.
I will not do that.
What's I'm now curious. What's the fifth God's Not Dead called?
I don't think it's actually out yet.
It's not out yet.
I realize
not
that.
based off what I saw.
It was about to go into production before the writers and actors strike started.
Okay.
Wait, Christians can strike?
Yeah, well, I think some of the actors are part of the guild and everything. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, so God's Not Dead 2, God's Not Dead A Light in the Darkness, and God's Not Dead We the People. However, the third
Rise
film
Up.
is
It's
what?
called
Yeah,
Rise
Rise
Up.
No way. It's gonna be like Christians coming and and taking over the country or something to be like
right after We the People. I think they're trying to say something. I don't know why they're publishing our plans on the or like, on the TV though. Like usually you're supposed to keep those under wraps so they don't know what's coming.
The surprise attack isn't very surprised if you let them know what you're going to do.
No, the only person who's ever successfully able to do that was Jesus when he said, "I'm coming at a time that you don't know and you won't expect." Like that's the only surprise attack that will ever happen once you announce it.
Fair.
He could come right now, but he won't come right now because I think he might come right now, and then I would have expected it. See, there's a little bit of a paradox going on here, where if we constantly expect it to happen, it just will never happen.
I think that's how that works, but I wish.
Maybe that's why the rapture hasn't happened yet. It's been 2,000 years or so, and
do you guys actually want to say goodbye, or are you just going to talk for another?
Yes, let's outro. Let's outro.
I don't trust you anymore.
Seth Mossberg of the One-Eyed Film Podcast. How can I earn your trust back?
By muting yourself and not unmuting until I'm done.
Done with what?
Like saying buy merch, follow the social media, and all that.
But I can't say goodbye if I'm muted.
Okay, then self-control and don't speak into your microphone for about 30 seconds.
Fine, but don't say anything that will cause me to interject then. Did you know, Seth, that if you cause me to stumble, you might as well have a millstone tied around your neck and you might as well be casted into the sea. If you cause me to stumble, you're just trying to tempt me right now is what you're really doing.
I didn't even say anything and then you go off on that. That's what I'm talking about.
You're threatening me, Seth. I will give you some grace. I will forgive you for your transgressions, and you can now go through with the outro.
Okay, I'm gonna figure out how much of this to include because
just make a full bonus episode.
A bonus episode of Deacon's ramblings. We'll have a counter at the end of were you offended by this bonus episode? Most likely, yes. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching. Buy some merch. Follow the socials. I'm watching Deacon make sure he doesn't talk. And share this with your friends. You guys come back next week for another cool episode because it's always cool around here. Have a great rest of your day.
See ya.
You're loved. God bless.
Goodbye. And don't forget to greet each other with a holy kiss.
100%.
Every time.
Paul said it himself.
Straight out of scripture.
Biblical. Hearing Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas.
You can say Banderas. It's okay. We're not Hispanic. We're white. It's okay.
Antonio Banderas.
Hola, hablo no inglés. Me llamo Guillermo. Yo soy creo mucho gusto. The best part is like when you have like a Australian Spanish.
Australian Spanish.
Hola, como estás, amigo?
Mate.
Mucho gusto, mate.
This might sound like sidestepping a little bit, and it might sound extreme, but just bear with me, please. What do you think about romance, Seth?
You mean the romance genre or romance in general?
Listen, I know you have romance in real life, so I'll just pretend like... But that's what makes him more dangerous in the romance rather than the horror. Is he in the horror genre? Absolutely. But when we see him in the horror genre, we know he's the bad guy. We don't like him. He's the one who's making us scared, and we don't want to be scared. We don't want to be scared. But when we're looking starstruck at this shirtless dude with like an 8-pack of abs, that's where Satan hides most effectively, is because he looks attractive when he can slide into something like a romance movie.
Now, I would define your terms a little bit more. That does not mean by any means that any good-looking guy is Satan. Any romance movie is
I would
of
be devil if that was the case.
I can attest to that. I've seen Deacon at the beach.
No, hot take. I don't like Into the Spider-Verse.
No.
You're wrong. I'm leaving.
Your opinion made Zach quit the podcast.
Like you can kind of see the disparity between me and Josh, because Josh like is still amazed, but he's seen it, and I've like never seen it before. It's like, my goodness, that looks so real and like awesome and cool, and it's just
William's
crazy.
drooling over in the corner. The flavors are melting in my eyes.
Not saying that Anakin is justified, but that it's all connected, that his inner thoughts were a problem and no one was willing to help him. And I don't know what mental health situation is in the Star Wars universe, but they really didn't care to listen to him, and that that does lead to basically the rest of the story of Anakin falling to the dark side because of his anger, because he didn't have his therapist to talk to. I don't want it to sound like that, but that's
Sounds like a
no one would
segue
listen
into
to
an
him.
ad.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp.
That's what it kind of felt like
No.
when I was talking about it. It was like, how do I
It
make
is
this
not.
not
We do
sound
not
like a
have-
segue?
We do not have any sponsors. Anyways,
I thought we could make gingerbread houses and eat cookie dough and go ice skating and maybe even hold hands.
Every Christian couple ever.
got him.
That's good.
That's a good one,
good.
Will. I'm proud of you for that one. Welcome everybody to the One Eyed Film Podcast. I'm your host Seth Mossberg, and today we got the Nolan Bros back with us. What are you laughing at?
I for some reason, I thought you were gonna start screaming "Top of the morning to you laddies," not to steal someone else's intro.
morning to you, laddies.
Top of the morning,
Just
dear
the
laddies.
guy.
Welcome back, you guys. Always fun to have you guys back.
We can't go to that first level, which is just reality, and tell you, hey, I have this idea, and let me tell you, it's pretty dope. It's bars, if you say.
If you would like to use that terminology, I agree. It's bars.
Yes, yeah. Bible equals bars.
Dude,
bars.
if we ever make merch, that's our first shirt. Bible
Dude.
equals bars. The epitome of good music writing. I don't know. Jordan, what's the actual word?
Songcraft.
Composing, I guess.
Songwriting.
Composing. And I think you see that good examples are in Star Wars, where you can hear the Force theme or Luke's theme or something like that. I remember the one bright light, the part I actually enjoyed in She-Hulk was when the Daredevil theme played. The only time I felt any sort of joy watching that show.
Did you actually watch it?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
I did, in fact, pull up a quote from you from episode 0. Quote, there are movies that are objectively not okay for a Christian to watch, like spiritual horror.
Depending on where this discussion goes, I would say that I am willing to revise that statement of mine, but let's see where this conversation goes. Thank you for using my words against me.
Seth, you don't understand. I'm
I
going to destroy your argument so bad that you're going to go back and you are going to strike that sentence from the entire episode 0. Like that sentence isn't even going to exist anymore. They're going to go back, Seth, to fact check me that you actually said it, and they're just not going to be able to find it because you struck it.
Please do. I look forward to it.
At least 6 to 7 times a day, I will say, oh yeah, it's all coming together. At least 6 or 7 times.
Okay,
So,
but that movie came out so long ago. I guess not so
And
long ago.
it's still in here.
It's
grew-
become like an underrated. It's become such an underrated gem, I think, mostly because of the memes. Like, isn't it called like what's it called? Like living
Emperor's New
rent free in
Groove.
my head or something like
Oh,
that.
that.
Like that's like yeah, like that's basically the epitome of that of of the Emperor's New Groove. Like it just basically is just so well known because of the memes.
It actually pays rent in my head, and rent is the cost of my sanity. It's declined ever since I watched that movie.
Oh.
At 6 years old, I watched it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna base my entire personality off of this.
I would argue that the directors knew what they were making, and I know every age can enjoy it. You've got a kid just out of the womb who would still be able to love Cat. Kids love Cat. And then you've got the 75-year-old guy who is just watching a movie with his kids, but unintentionally gets glued to the TV because it's actually a good movie.
I've watched a few animes in my lifetime. Not a ton. I am not by any means a weeb. No one be offended to that, please. But
just like have like the thing say be like an image of Josh's face. I am a weeb.
No. Disclaimer. I am not a weeb. I'm not.
They now cannot recast Daredevil into somebody who could have been just as good or better. Now I know that is a very controversial statement from a stan of the show to a stan of the show, because Charlie Cox is amazing at that role. Mm-hmm. That was like a disappointed dad. Mm-hmm. It's like, continue on. I know you're wrong, but keep going.
Go on.
Hate leads to the dark side, and it's not necessarily reciprocated in the Jedi way for the sake of love, but it is putting others' needs ahead of your own. And when Luke realizes what he's about to do to Darth Vader, when he's about to end his life, he realizes that this is not the way, and not a reference to the Mandalorian. It's not the way of justice. And he realizes not only that he's about to kill an unarmed man, literally unarmed.
Oh, God.
I am proud of that one. I am so proud of that one.
That was awful. Oh my God.
I think it can be used really well. Devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate moment.
Devil's avocados.
If I 100% agree with you that names God's Not Dead, Jesus Revolution, or whatever could push non-Christian audiences away. To counter or to further impress that and take that to its logical conclusion to me, are people going to go watch a movie called The Shift that's made by Angel Studios? Is the name Angel Studios actually heard it? Are we wearing our heart on our sleeve a little bit here? Are we showing our hand a little too much? Are we alienating an audience based off of what we clearly are espousing as our beliefs?
I see what you're saying. I think Angel Studios is better than PureFlix.
Oh, 100%. I don't know what marketing team was behind PureFlix.
What do you guys think we should name our new studio? It's got good pure movies, and it's movies. PureFlix. It's like Netflix, but it's pure.
Guys, too many people have been Netflix and chilling. We need to bring back purity. Chastity, guys. PureFlix.
PureFlix and room for Jesus.
Yeah, amen. I can't fit a Bible in between you two.
Shirt idea?
Oh no.
PureFlix and room for Jesus? That would be funny. Oh man, good stuff. Godzilla is what they depicted him in Godzilla -1 as Japanese, this Japanese monster. Like, because it's a Japanese film. Wow.
That was violent.
My bad.
Almost had
Wait. Random funny thing that just got in mind.
Almost had an atomic breath there.
You take the sneeze, and then you put, you know when Godzilla does like his whole roar thing after shooting the laser beam? Put that sound effect over that, so it's like, achoo.
Yeah, Zach has atomic breath like Godzilla. That's funny. No, speaking of that, thanks for sneezing and leading me into this, Zach. You're welcome. I don't understand why they added it, except for, hey, look at us. We're being inclusive, and there's a homosexual relationship. There you go, everybody.
That's probably my second favorite part of the game. I loved that because of the ingenuity of Bill, because of the infected action, especially with meeting your first bloater. I remember when I first played through the game and that thing popped out of that closet, pun intended. And dude, I was terrified. I was shaking in my sneakers because it gigantic infected. How the heck am I gonna do this? I died so many times and I got none of it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of the game, and they took it out.
You weren't shaking in your sneakers for this episode, were you?
Mm-mm. I was putting them on so I could run away.
Fair enough.
Other than that, most everything is book accurate.
There's nothing that's a major difference. Did they give Ginny more of a character arc in the books?
Don't get me started. But so the one thing they didn't have in the movies was any sort of personality for Ginny. And I'm being completely serious. I don't want to hate on Bonnie Wright for her portrayal of Ginny. It's just the writing. Her character was flat. She had no personality.
I thought you said don't get you started on Ginny, and you got started.
Well, you did.
Let's move on before you get any more mad.
Sin is the shrapnel trying to get to your heart, trying to kill you.
And our hearts are made clean through the Holy Spirit.
It's not just once. It's a constant renewal because he's constantly pulling the shrapnel away with that arc reactor, and same how the Holy Spirit is constantly redeeming us because we're always sinful.
Yep. I agree. Did you just bars yourself?
Yeah, I think so. Spin facts.
I want
Very
you guys.
low budget.
I was just gonna say I looked up the budgets. Do you guys have any idea?
9 million, I think, was how much they cost for Memento.
It's got to be like less.
I have Wikipedia, dude. Get over it.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a fun guessing game.
Wait, what did Will say?
Memento cost $9 million to make, which is a very cheap movie. Tenet took $200 million to make.
I could pay off my student loans like over
could
200 million times. Golly. Or no, not 200 million times. 200 times.
Do you have $1 million in debt?
I'm really bad at math, man. Math isn't my major. Business is.
It's not a good
I don't
sign,
think
Josh.
I don't think I'm gonna trust you to run my business.
Hopefully this doesn't get out to future businesses.
Dude, I love General Grievous. He's such a good character, and it's.
I want you to imagine, right, the writer's room for that. Okay, hear me out. We've tried guy with lightsabers coming out of both ends. We've tried 2 lightsabers. What if we try 4?
And what if it's a robot with a human heart who splits his arms in half and walks like a spider in a giant donut car?
Yes. Sold.
Let's do it. Oh man, I can't imagine what George Lucas's mind is like when he thinks of things like that.
Was it based off of their surroundings, or was it just like this is what they're coming up with late at night? They're running out of ideas.
I think they might have been on shrooms, man.
You'll never believe what I just saw. It was the spider robot in a donut. Oh.
And he coughed a lot.
I'm generally pretty selective with my songs, but there's every now and then I'll come across a soundtrack that I'm like, I like the vibe. I like this. And this is just one of them. Okay, it was the Les Miserables. Les Miserables.
What did you say?
I can't. It's literally the Miserables. That's what it's translated to. I don't know how to say French.
Les Miserables.
It's Les Miserables or whatever. I don't speak French.
No hablo el baguette. Especially when Death laughs in this and does a little chuckle. It's so low and scary. It's so weird to be scared at a villain, and that's also why I asked, is it a kids movie? Because any kid who watches this is gonna pee their pants. Because I almost did. Yeah. And it's just it's scary. It's weird to be scared by that.
Deacon, you got something? I got a thought, but I want to formulate it correctly. I'm gonna be careful with my words.
So I'm gonna be less careful with my words. I don't care. The One-Eyed Film Podcast audience can grab their pitchforks and burn me at the stake, I guess, for being a heretic or something.
Check out our social media and our Discord server. We got some good conversation over there, and it's super fun all the time, because that's what we do here. We vibe, we ball, we have fun for Jesus. We need a tagline, and it's not that. I promise you, it's not that. It just made me think of that. Where faith. This is what I wrote down. How about this? Tagline idea. Where faith defines film.
Something there. There's something there.
One-Eyed Film Podcast. Where faith defines film. We'll workshop it.
Where faith meets film. Where faith leads to an analysis of film.
Film followers. For short.
I'm done. You guys are too much. The Luke Gospel, because Luke seems to be the one who wants everyone's story. It is mostly probably Peter's account, but he wants the most accurate possible account for his written letter.
Now I'm just like imagining like some like noir version of like Luke, just like be like a noir detective, like investigating stuff. Like,
all right, give me the facts. I don't idea with it. Gotta be
just the facts, ma'am.
It's gonna be by the books. Peter, come here. So you said, Peter, you said that he was glowing and stuff like that. Can you give me more detail on this mountain stuff? There's 2 guys with him. Okay. You're sure that was Moses? Well, you haven't met the guy, so how do you know? Come on, give me something to whack with. I gotta get this facts.
Man, you're going all in, aren't you?
Yeah. New audio drama coming up.
As far as race swapping main characters, I wouldn't have such a big big problem with this if they actually put effort into it and respected the cultures.
A lot of images of anime that you could use for a laptop image, that type of an idea, kind of like Arcane, how you talk about, you could just take a picture and it would look very nice. But the thing about anime is that I just kind of like how the people look, generally speaking. And I've got like an image right here. Let me share quick, if you don't mind.
This just in, William doesn't like Asians.
I have friends who are Asian.
I'm not going to spoil it because I don't think half of us have seen it, so I'm not going to say too much. Wait, is it Jordan and Will? Have you not seen the movie?
I have not seen the movie, but I do know kind of how it ends, especially with one character and their family.
Okay.
I've also not seen it.
Okay. Yeah,
We have an episode on it. Zach and I did an episode covering it. So watch the movie, go listen to that episode, and then come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
Now, I think Endgame, and I will stand on this hill, and I will die on this hill. Endgame should have been the end. It is in the title, Endgame. Only exception I will say is Spider-Man No Way Home, where we got to see Andrew Garfield and
And there you fall for their nostalgia ploy.
Yes.
There you
Yes.
are baited into their trap, and that's not even a problem for you.
But it was something we needed to see at the same time.
Is it? Is it really? Did we need to see it? Answer me that. I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He thought that he was killing the Son of God, which would have been monumental if it stayed that way, but it didn't, as we all know.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, the end of the movie has a huge twist.
Come on.
And then as we continue for the rest of season 2, no matter how like unfocused it felt, that's kind of my opinion on season 2. Season 2 gets really weird.
Yeah, I didn't really like the ninjas. Just throwing that out there. I didn't like the ninjas.
When we get to the episode where the ninjas are attacking the hospital with the zombie children, I'm like, what's going on? What happened to Daredevil?
It's not that those episodes get a little ungrounded. I just always have my volume on high, so I'm deafened by the explosions, and then I can hear what they're saying, and I don't need to read it as though I'm reading a book. I don't read books. I watch movies. Petty.
There's a new shirt right there.
I don't read books. I watch movies. I read movies and watch
New shirt
books.
coming out soon.
There you go. But he played a great Joseph, I think, even though he's Mexican or
Hispanic, I think.
I know. I'm sorry. Don't correct my political
Mexican
incorrectness.
is an ethnicity. It's a nationality. It's a nitpick I have.
If you guys are interested, go check out our Easter-themed audio drama. Again, I wrote it. I think it's all right, but you're the ones to decide that. Go listen to that and let us know what you think. My co-hosts are playing rock, paper, scissors, and I think that's code for being done. Again, thank you guys for joining me. Know anything about Argyle?
I know Henry Cavill is in it, and that's all I need to know.
I saw the trailer. That's
Henry
it.
Cavill's-
And yeah, and did you just call him Cavill?
Cavill? Oh, it's Cavill, isn't it?
It's
Henry
Cavill.
Cavill.
I have never.
Okay.
It's not Camilla Deville. It's Cavill. It's not Cavill.
Okay. What I was gonna say though is that Henry Cavill has a funny haircut. Cavill. I'm saying it right. Isn't that the right?
Henry Cavill. You're putting too much.
Okay.
You're putting too much emphasis on the wrong syllable. Go ahead. We know who you're talking about.
Cavill. Henry Cavill. He's got a funny haircut.
How you guys doing today?
Good. We're here.
Doing well.
Good. Josh,
Enough
you didn't
said.
do your intro. You didn't do your intro.
Good morning. I don't know when you're listening to this, but good morning. I hope it was a good morning.
Yeah. Whether it was yesterday morning or today morning.
Or
All right.
2 years from the future from now morning.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive right
Comment
into
down
it, boy.
below if you're listening to this 2 years from now.
I was so underwhelmed. I was like, people like this and watch it every year. It's not.
Take it back. Take it back.
I won't. I'm sorry. I can dislike things.
Yeah, but you're just wrong when you dislike them. You can dislike it all you want, but that doesn't change the fact that your opinion is wrong.
You can have a different opinion. It's just invalid.
My gosh.
Ours.
I'm bothered more, I think, by Chris Pratt playing Garfield than Chris Pratt playing Mario.
Yes.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
because? Is that? Oh, I shouldn't be holding up a knife.
Why are you holding a knife?
It's my fidget, okay?
How they make people look is just unnerving to me because it doesn't look realistic. Like the eyes are big, the nose are tiny, the noses are small. They that's how they talk. Like seriously, that's how the lips move. I'm not wrong. And so that's just kind of unnerves me, but that's not necessarily what makes me dislike anime as much. It's really more of like what is often portrayed in anime, and that's just because, to put it bluntly, like, anime is just kind of horny. Like it is. It is. I'm not wrong. You know that. It's just like there's a lot of it's anime is well known for having. Anime is well known for being very sexualized.
And it was really good. And it did kind of surprise me with how good it was.
Give me out of 10.
Out of 10, so 1 being absolute trash, 10 being
1 being She-Hulk, and 10 being Endgame.
that is perfect scale.
If somebody from The Chosen reached out and asked me if I got the chance to do it, I would take it in a heartbeat. Even if I'm in the back of the temple or something and you see who I was, I'd still love to do it. You know, I'd be like Mike Wazowski. I was on TV.
I can't believe it.
If She-Hulk is like if she shows up in the show at all, I might gouge my own head. Just gonna say it now. If you call me after she shows up in the show, I'm gonna be as blind as Matt Murdock because I'm gonna hate it so much.
Well, that might happen.
I hope not. I really don't think it will.
I think I was talking to my little brother Luke, and he is like, I don't like the Quiet Place episodes. They're too dumb and stupid. And I'm like, Zach walkout. Zach's our walkout character. I remember this was weirdly enough one of the soundtrack CDs that my parents would pop in our CD player to get us to go to sleep. And I think this was the wrong choice. I'm just calling my parents out for this. The yelling of blood, sand, sweat at the beginning is not how you get a kid to go to sleep. It is a beautiful soundtrack.
Ironically, that was what my parents played while we were working. I'm kidding. They didn't actually.
That's hilarious.
If you listen to our Prince of Egypt episode, you'll know that they remade it into a theater show with most of the songs were just remade to be newer and more updated, but also added a few songs. So listen to our episode about that. Listen to that whole soundtrack. I prefer the theater soundtrack over the original.
What?
So that's what? Zach says, what? Welcome everybody to the One Ed Film Podcast. I'm your host Seth Mossberg, and Happy New Year! It's 2024. Woo! Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I forgot to be excited. So much happened in 2023. It slowed me down.
Nasty business owner who wants anything to take over the other, and the guy's just like, Jesus loves you, and you don't have to be like this. And he's like, got me there.
Checkmate, atheist.
Did you see that? You saw Blue Beetle, right? I told you to go see it, I believe, Zach.
I thought I told you to see it.
I thought I told you to see it. I don't know. There was a conversation.
I didn't tell anybody to see it because I didn't watch it.
Fair enough.